Hello, welcome to another video from Homesteading Off the Grid. Today we're going to show you how to sharpen a chainsaw chain while you're out in the field cutting your wood. Now there's more than one way to do anything in life, and if you watch a lot of the how to sharpen chainsaw chain videos on YouTube, you're going to see people locking the saws down with vices in their garage. That's great, and in the summer that's a really good idea. But if you're out in the field, let's say you have a lot of land, or you're out in the pasture, we're actually cutting wood, you're felling trees, you're not going to have your workshop available. You might be able to take a portable vise with you, but you don't really need that stuff. You can use your knees. You would probably get the best effect if you did use a vise, but really what you're looking for is stability. You can get enough stability while you're out in the field just using your knees, being very careful about what you do. So we're going to use a simple hand tool, a chainsaw chain file. We're not promoting any particular product. This is just what we got. You can get these anywhere. You can get them at Walmart. You can get them at Lowe's. You can order them online from Amazon. 2-pack costs you anywhere from $6 to $10. The average is probably going to be about $8. And it's really all you need. You don't need any power tools. This works just fine. I've been doing chainsaw work for 20 years at least, and this is what I've always used. Now if you can come in closer with the camera, so we're going to focus on the chain now. I want to show you what I do and how I do it. Now you want to make sure that your chain is pretty tight for it now. Are you getting a good angle there? You want your chain to be tight for extra stability. You want to hold the chain solidly with your knees. Okay, now you want to know where you left off or where you started, because you don't want to have to actually do everything twice. It can be counterproductive. So I use a Sharpie. I use a red Sharpie, and I'm just going to mark the first tooth I use. The teeth are silver, so a black Sharpie would also work, but I'm going to use red. It's easier to see. Now, there are basically two main things you need to keep in mind while you're doing this. That is angle and the number of times in which you sharpen each tooth. You've got to be consistent. I use 4 or 5, but I pick one. I'm going to go with 4 for the purposes of simplicity for this video. But if I do one tooth 4 times, I need to do every tooth 4 times. If you sharpen your teeth unevenly, then you're going to get a crooked cut as you're trying to cut through your wood, and it's going to be very unproductive. So this is really easy. This tooth is pointing out this way. The motion you want to use is you want to go out, and I mentioned angle. You want to use approximately a 30-degree angle, which is the angle the tooth is sharpened at anyway when you buy it from the store. You just simply put the file in here and you run it through. Now take your time doing this. Make sure you're getting the whole length of the file. And as you can see, I'm twisting in a counterclockwise motion as I pull. What this does is this sharpens any burrs you might have under there from maybe where you've cut through your wood and you've hit dirt or you've hit a rock, but there's one, okay? And then I'm going to go through 2. Take your time, be patient, don't rush. That's 2. Maintain that angle. You want to take your time to maintain that angle. On that last pass, I went a little bit too far inside, and that's not a good thing. That's 3. And I'm going to go 4. This is going to be my last one on this tooth. Now it doesn't take much. You just get a little nick in your chainsaw teeth, and it'll keep your chain from cutting effectively and efficiently. And it just takes a little bit of file work to get that out. Now I've done that one, so now I'm just going to move up and go to the next one. And again, I'm going to go out the direction that the tooth is facing. I did 4 times there, so I'm going to do 4 times here. Rolling. Now this time I'm going clockwise, okay, not counterclockwise. And I'm staying at that 30-degree angle. There's 1. I'm going to do another one. 2. And you can hear the ridges. That tooth was a little more banged up than the last one. And then here's 3. And you'll notice, even though I don't have a vise, this chainsaw is staying relatively stable, and I'm using my fingers here to press against the bar to also provide more stability. And then this is 4, and I'm getting those teeth off of there. Now you might be tempted to do it a 5th or 6th time. Don't, because you don't want to get a crooked cut when you're cutting. And now I'll just go down the chain and I'll do every tooth that way. You can go ahead and back up, honey, to get a fuller view. And that's all there is to it. It's nothing fancy. It's very simple. There might be some people comment, oh, that's not going to cut. Yes, it will. I've done this for years. And I'll point out, you know, my wife's taking the video. Show them a quick picture of yourself there. You just flip the camera and say hello.
I can't do it.
Do it, please. Just really quick. Say hello.
Hello.
Okay, there's my beautiful wife. She's Filipina. And we lived in the jungles of the Philippines for a couple of years before we eventually went out into the city. Then after that, made our way back, my way back to the U.S., her time and our son's time here for the first time. But it was interesting, when we were living in the jungles, we would see the Filipinos cutting down coconut trees and actually cutting the coconut trees into lumber using a chainsaw. And this is how they sharpened their teeth, and they didn't have any vices. And I asked them about using a vise for stability, and of course they laughed at me. And they cut down plenty of trees and with very sharp saws, and they make lumber boards that are straight and true as any sawmill here in the U.S. using a chainsaw, not even using the guide that you can use to cut lumber with a tree or a log, because they've been doing it for so long they know what they're doing. So remember, stability, use your knees, use your hand to stabilize that blade. The same number of cuts with this little $6 or $8 file. If you're doing 4 on one tooth, do 4 on the other. Stay at a 30-degree angle. You can sharpen your whole saw in 10 or 15 minutes. It doesn't really take that much time. And then you can get back to cutting your firewood. And as you can see, we've got some snow, so you don't want to waste a lot of time once winter's here. Okay, thanks for joining us for another video from Homesteading Off the Grid, and we'll see you next time.